What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new football news video. In this video we will talk about Chelsea being in talks with Frank Lampard, and the future of Chelsea FC is very interesting because they have a transfer ban for 2 transfer windows, and also they lost their best player Eden Hazard and they lost their world-class manager Sarri. In my opinion, Sarri is a world-class manager. It showed that in his first season he came third with Chelsea, and also he won the Europa League finals, thrashing their London rivals Arsenal 4-1. So I think Sarri becoming a Juventus manager shows that Sarri is good enough to manage one of the biggest clubs in the world. So he certainly was good enough for Chelsea, but the Chelsea fans thought otherwise. The majority of them wanted Sarri out. They didn't enjoy the kind of football that Chelsea were playing under Sarri, which is very harsh in my opinion, considering that it was his first season and he didn't sign too many very good players. But still, I think it's a very successful season. And let me know guys, what do you think about Chelsea's future? Do you think Frank Lampard is good enough? Is he ready right now to be a Chelsea manager? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a like. It really helps me out, and it just takes a second for you guys to press the like button. So Didier Drogba, the Chelsea legend who won the Champions League, their only Champions League trophy for Chelsea, so he will be forever in the history of Chelsea FC. He appeared to confirm that Frank Lampard is in talks to become the next Chelsea manager in an Instagram live video. So Derby County insisted that there has been no approach for their boss Lampard, but Didier Drogba, who is still a good friends with Frank Lampard, they were pictured together in London earlier this month. He has claimed that negotiations are on the way. Sky Sports News are reporting this, and he was asked in the Instagram live video who will be the next Chelsea manager, and he said the one who is in talks now to get the job is Frank Lampard. And when he was asked on when the announcement of Lampard will be, he just said, relax, relax. So he says basically that it's coming. And former Derby captain and club ambassador Michael Johnson has asked Chelsea to be respectful in their pursuit of Frank Lampard. This is what he said: there has been no direct contact made by Chelsea, but you can't get away from the noises, and it's probably going to be more when than if Lampard becomes a Chelsea manager. From our side, from Derby's side, we want that little bit of respect from Chelsea's regard. If you are going to make the approach, just make the approach, be open and transparent about it. And Didier Drogba says no one can replace Eden Hazard, who is very special, but someone else will come and step up. Eden Hazard is a legend at Chelsea, but that's life, that's football, that sometimes players move on. I don't think Lampard is particularly ready to take over at Chelsea, but this might be the best time, because I think the pressure would be off Lampard, because Chelsea can't really sign any more players. So Lampard would always have the excuse that this is not his team. I mean, this is not the squad that he built, that he bought. It's a different squad, and I think Frank Lampard is a rookie as a manager, but he has probably the experience to deal with many different things coming up at Chelsea, and he knows the club more than anybody else. He knows the club more than even the Chelsea owner, in my opinion, because Frank Lampard is Chelsea FC. He is like the biggest legend that Chelsea ever had. He is their top scorer. He won the most trophies at Chelsea, and he was just a club legend at Chelsea. So he probably knows more than most what Chelsea is all about, what the fans want, what kind of playing style they want, and probably he can get away with a lot more than potentially any other manager. The Chelsea fans will cut Frank Lampard a lot of slack. They will give him time because they know that they are in for a tough season. I mean, losing your best player and not being able to replace him is very tough, but losing a world-class manager like Sarri, and we will talk about that a little bit more later in this video, is also very tough. And I think Chelsea should give the job to Lampard, because this is, as I said, the best opportunity for him to come in without a lot of pressure to perform in the first season. And he would have, I think should just get one season to try and implement his ideas. And even if Chelsea finish outside of the top 4, it wouldn't be a disaster. I think even with Frank Lampard, Chelsea would finish in the top 6 pretty comfortably. They still have very, very good players. And what he should instill in Chelsea is try to implement his own philosophy, try to implement a playing style that suits the current crop of players, but also which suits Frank Lampard as a manager, and try to develop his own identity at Chelsea. And also, I think the fans, as I said, will be very patient with Lampard. Of course, there will be some crazy Chelsea fans who would want Frank Lampard to be sacked after like 6 months if he's not in like second place or first place in the Premier League. But I think the majority of the Chelsea fans will give a lot of respect and a lot of time for Frank Lampard. But it's also a very risky appointment, because if Frank Lampard fails miserably, will his legacy at Chelsea be tainted? I don't think it should be, but that's not how it works. You know that fans always remember the newest thing. So if Frank Lampard, as good as he was as a Chelsea player, and he was, as I said, the best player, in my opinion, to ever play for Chelsea Football Club, if Frank Lampard fails as a manager at Chelsea, some of the fans maybe will think lesser of him. And I don't think that should happen, but that's the reality of modern day football. Football is changing so fast with social media coming in the past 5 to 10 years. The Premier League is now changing so fast. And I will be honest, if I was a Chelsea fan, God forbid, but if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be nervous, but I would be very excited with Frank Lampard becoming a Chelsea manager. It's a totally different story if Gerrard was to become a Liverpool manager, because we already have a successful established manager like Steven Gerrard. Chelsea just lost their manager, so it's a different scenario. And who can they potentially get? I mean, getting Mourinho back for the 3rd time would be absolutely crazy and bonkers, and I don't think many Chelsea fans want that to happen after how Mourinho failed at Manchester United. But that's another story. I think the problems are much deeper at Man United than who is the manager there. And I think Frank Lampard could become a huge success. I mean, imagine if he gets Chelsea into the Champions League in his first season. That will be a magnificent achievement with limited, resources. I mean, no transfers. Pulisic is the only new player coming in, and they are losing Eden Hazard. I can't stress it enough how big of a loss that is, because Eden Hazard is by a mile Chelsea's best and most important player. And Harry Redknapp said this about Frank Lampard: I think it will be a major surprise if Lampard does not get the job. It looks to me as though it will happen. It's brilliant for him, a shame for Derby, but he has gone up there and done a good job. I'm sure Derby loved him having there, and so it will be a shame for them, the club, the fans. But for Chelsea, it is a great move for them. He's idolized at Chelsea. He's a genuine legend there. He knows the game, he knows what it's about. He has a touch of class, and I think he will be great. And Harry Redknapp also added, I see them next season finishing at the best 3rd, probably 4th, around where they were last season. But it's going to be tougher as they have lost their best player, Hazard, but it might be a great opportunity to give these kids a game. And what you also have to take into account is that Chelsea have so many loaned players, and some of them are really good. They have like 31 or 33 players out loan. That's 3 whole team of footballers out on loan. So I'm sure Lampard can pick half a dozen, like 5 or 6 players who are very good. I mean, they have Michy Batshuayi for one, who is a great striker who could come in and really do a good job for Chelsea. It's going to be very interesting if Lampard becomes the manager, which loan players he recalls and implements into the squad. And I think it would be time for Chelsea to give very bravely some of the young players playing time. Give them a chance without the added pressure of Chelsea having to win trophies. I don't think many Chelsea fans expect Chelsea to win either the Premier League or the Champions League. They are not, I mean, they are not really in the conversation for those trophies. So I think it's the best time for Lampard to come in without a lot of pressure, and for young players to be given a big chance for Chelsea. And that's not what Chelsea have been all about recently in the last 10 years under, Abramovich. Chelsea wasn't all about giving young players a chance, but now they have to, because they are under a transfer ban for 2 transfer windows. And Sarri had some very, very strong words when he became Juventus manager. He said that it's a step up from Chelsea, and also he said that at Chelsea the players were more individualistic. At Napoli the players were a team basically. At Chelsea, like 8 or 9 players were about quick one-touch football, but 2 or 3 of them, the striker, the wingers, they were very individualistic. This is what Sarri said. Juve are the best Italian club right now, and offered me a chance to return to Italy is the crowning achievement of a long career. It's been a long journey for me, made up of gradual steps. And I'm happy to be at the most important team in Italy, and this is a further step forward after the experience at Chelsea. And don't get me wrong, no offense to Chelsea, but Sarri is right. Juventus at the moment is a step up from Chelsea, because Juventus are one of the contenders for the Champions League, and they are almost guaranteed to win the Serie A with Ronaldo in their team and with Sarri as manager. I think Juventus also wanted a more attack-minded, the more offensive manager who will play attractive, very, very attacking football, something that Allegri hasn't always done, and the Juventus fans were complaining. And this is what Sarri said about Chelsea, and this is very interesting. Chelsea had a lot of technically gifted players, but with diverse characteristics, less fluid, but also just as solid. I realized, being in England, how amazing their stadiums are. The atmosphere in football in Italy has to change through infrastructure. I think that's a very, very good point. He also said that Chelsea, I coached some very strong players, but training Cristiano Ronaldo will be yet another step forward. I would like to help him break some new records. When you have a player with the qualities of Dybala or Cristiano, they can play in any role. What can change is only the interpretation of the role. You have to have clear ideas on 2 or 3 players who can make a real difference for the team, and then give them an environment to truly express themselves. If a team enjoys itself on the pitch, then the spectators enjoy themselves, and this is a fuel to win. For 3 years I would wake up and think about how to defeat Juventus when I was a Napoli manager. That's what Sarri said, because they were a winning team. I gave 100%, 110%, but we still couldn't do it. It was an experience, and I will now give everything for this club. Sarri made a very good choice. He also wanted to be closer to his elderly parents. Sarri is not a young manager, so his parents must be like already in retirement, and I think Sarri realized that the years are numbered that he can spend with his parents, so he wanted to move back to Italy, and he also wanted to coach, I guess, one of the biggest teams in the world, and also the biggest team in Italy. And Sarri hasn't won a trophy before coming to Chelsea, so that's why winning the Europa League is huge for him. And now I think he will win quite a few trophies at Juventus. I expect them to win the Serie A, the Italian Cup, and make a deep run in the Champions League. I'm not sure if Juventus can win the Champions League. They maybe need 1 or 2 signings in order to do that, but I think they have a good chance of winning at least the domestic double. And Chelsea, it's going to be very interesting to watch how they can handle this period of the next 2 years, this transitional period, because if they fall behind of the other top clubs, it's very hard to catch up. Look at Arsenal. They were consistently in the top 4 under Wenger, and then they have fallen out of the top 4, and since then they couldn't get back in, and it's very difficult to get back in. I just wanted to give my opinion and also report on these latest news about Frank Lampard potentially becoming the Chelsea manager. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.